Marketing is amazing, and you can have great marketers and great tools. But if marketing can't actually see how it's impacting your whole sales, production, return, your ROI, there's no loop. And it's hard enough to learn how to get them to talk to each other. But let's build it as part of it so it's all one continuous loop and feeding off each other. And that's a fun challenge to have. There's certain roles and certain personalities that are very coin operated. You put $1 in, you're going to get $3 out, and that's just how it works. And it's like, just talk about psychology and personalities. I can't think of a single sales rep that I met has ever not been someone motivated by adrenaline or dopamine. And you are going to absolutely get a dopamine hit when you hit a performance metric way more than your regular paycheck. So if you asked a roofer what's more important, referrals or reviews, they'd all pick referrals, which makes sense, right? And you can see that in the homeowner report and on the report for lead source, your word of mouth, your referrals is gold. And I don't think I don't think even mentally, even for me, the things you would do to improve your referrals are things you would do to improve your reviews. And that is to do automations. That is to follow up with the homeowner. That's to make sure they had a good experience. And I think I think part of it's the mental hurdle, because if I'm a roofer and I'm looking for leads, I'm not going to think about my reviews. I'm going to think, well, how can I get more referrals?
Welcome to the Roofing Success Podcast. I'm Jim Aline, and I'm here to bring you insights from top leaders in the roofing industry to help you grow and scale your roofing business.
Kaylee Smith, the Senior Vice President of Marketing Innovation at JobNimbus.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. I know this was a role change for you going into this year, and I want to congratulate you on that. That's fantastic. You're still, I would say you're still the brains behind the peak performance report at JobNimbus, though. And that's what we want to talk about today: the market, the industry as a whole, and with the peak performance report. What do you think the most surprising thing that you've started hearing buzz about? I know we were down at the IRE together talking to a lot of contractors. You guys, have crew events. You have, talking to contractors all the time that are customers. What's the thing that stood out the most, that's most surprising for people right now?
So overall, the thing that I think most people have been surprised by as I'm talking to them is more there's data around this. Oh, this is actually a best practice for marketing, for sales, for production. It's we all go in having all these questions about how to run our business, and to have a mini playbook has been the most surprising thing. As far as the most surprising facts, it's hard because most of the conversations, it's not that people were surprised. It's just they had a gut feeling validated, and it was more okay, you know what? I need to act on this now. It was oh, okay, I can just think about this. So for example, we have a homeowner perspective on every category of peak performance, from homeowner preference and perspective on marketing and your sales process, your production, and just even your team and culture. And no one was surprised they prefer credit card. It was just more this resignation of, oh, it's worse than I thought, so I have to do something about it now. Got a lot of responses to that, and also how texting's the number one preferred communication, and just how much has to go into those experiences. So I would say it's a surprise thing, but it just feels because people are smart. We're all in business. We kind of get a gut feel for what we should be doing. To have it validated, or that wasn't just a nagging thought, that's actually something I should probably do. I think it's been more conversations like that.
Yeah, definitely. We know that text messages have a 98%, 99% open rate, right? So when you send a text to someone, it gets read. It's not like an email. So that's definitely something that's oh yeah, this makes sense. This is perfect. Every time I send a text message, I get a better response. I call my homeowners and I leave messages, and it's a little bit harder to get them on the phone. Maybe they're eating dinner, or they're at work, or something's going on. But that text sneaks through, and that you could get a little good response while they're working, or we have a no phones at the dinner table policy at my house, so you won't get a text back from me while that's happening. But
Before
The
or
other
after?
thing is like yeah, seriously. The other thing that I saw in the report was like the automation use nearly doubled.
Oh, yeah.
It's and so I think that was a key finding for me, like that now contractors are actually really adopting this. What was it? 79% of roofers now use a CRM, and what would that be? Let me do my math. The 21% that don't, you really don't, you're probably not competing against, right? Like it's
No,
not
when you
competition
just
anymore.
started, you're figuring it all out a Google Sheets or a pen and
Yeah.
paper, and we all
Yep.
start somewhere, but yeah, no, it's shifted a lot. Tech is now becoming more of a non-negotiable in roofing for sure.
It's definitely a non-negotiable. What has changed over the years? You've been at Job Nimbus for years now, back or in two different times. Like you've been around the tech for roofing for a long time. What do you think broke the logjam on that?
Homeowner expectation. I really think that's
Mm,
it. There's so many pieces of our, like, individual lives that are so tech heavy now. Like, it's instead of, like, if when I started Job Nimbus, you could go 6 years ago, like, "Yeah, no, I'll call you or send you an email or I'll take a check." Now we have all these options and other services before roofing, like
yeah,
with plumbing and HVAC and everything. It's like, "Okay, I'm gonna send you a text follow-up. I'm gonna email you this proposal." Like, I think the expectations have changed on the homeowner side, and now that we as individual people are becoming way more like tech users in general, like just as an average person, now everyone's using some form of AI, personally and
yeah,
professionally. Just tech expectations are changing, period. So I think
yeah,
few reasons, but honestly, I think the main one is homeowner expectation. People knew they to grow and to win more business, they had to get some automations in place, and we're people even
definitely.
getting better at making it easier to automate. So that I think it's a mix of those 2 things.
How do you how has it been now that you're on the product side, more on the product side, like you're getting to see the development more on an up close and personal basis. How does how is it coming from the product side? Like how is that user experience being expressed through code these days? Like how does that for people that don't understand how software is developed, right? Like for a software like Job Nimbus, like that you're making contractors heroes, we're making contractors heroes to your homeowner, to your team, to yourself, right? Making yourself a hero, taking your time back. Like how does a software company build that adoption and create that user experience that that homeowner really wants?
Yeah, I think there's a couple parts of it because you're dealing with like 3 main things, and this is what I've been running into as I'm developing the marketing product. You have the user experience of the roofer, which is, 1, can you tell me, even especially marketing, and Jim, you know this, is like, just tell me
Yeah,
what's gonna work best for my business and apply it. Like, I've every call I've been on, I was like, "I don't even care what you do to my account. Just make it work and make it so I can see that it's working." And that's
that's right.
it doesn't that's not just roofing. I think marketing in general is a big black box, and there's lots of stuff you could do to, uh, what works and what doesn't work. So sometimes you just wanna know. But there's like, please go in and like get this set up in a way that I can see if it's working. And that's like the roofer experience, but also like
Hmm.
understanding that they're not experts at building a marketing campaign. They're not experts at like doing estimates necessarily. They're pieces of your overall business strategy. So there's the element of, okay, what are they experts in? And what can I like make as seamless as possible for things that they're not? Like there are pieces of your business you want to mega customize. And there are other pieces you're like, I don't really care, just give me best practice. So be able to build it for any stage of the process for the one who wants to customize a lot of the process and the ones that just give me best practice. That's hard to do because you usually pick one or another.
Yeah,
Um then on the other side of it, which is fun and, like, challenging with, like, all the AI stuff, you can go spin up an app pretty easy. It's effortless now. We started 13 years ago. It's not a
yeah,
completely different code base, but the not funny, but the interesting part to me about watching this is, and you saw this at IRE, way more tech and AI than I've ever seen at any roofing show combined. And it makes sense because you can now spin up a tool really fast. But the thing that now, as you get bigger, especially, it's not about just having a tool, it's having your tools talk to each other or have your one tool be able
Yeah.
to do multiple things. And that's hard because you can have a marketing tool, you can have a sales tool, you can have a production tool, you can have all the stuff. But if they don't talk to each other, you have so many silos and efficiencies that you're losing money on. So now on the Job Nimbus side, it's not enough just to spin up a tool that can fix this one problem. It's how do we make the whole system talk to each other? And it's a beast. Like it's a beast of a project, but it's exactly what needs to happen. AI is going to keep going. Tech's going to keep improving.
Yeah.
Where I'm excited about Job Nimbus and a huge reason why like I even took this role. Cool. Now, how do we take all these point solutions and consolidate as much as possible and make it so it's informing each other? That's kind of the premise of the whole marketing stuff. Marketing is amazing and you can have great marketers and great tools. But if you can't actually see how it's impacting your whole sales production return, your ROI, there's no loop. And it's
That's
hard
right.
enough to learn how to get them to talk to each other. But that's the whole point is let's build as part of it so it's all one continuous loop and feeding off each other. And that's a fun challenge to have. So even with all the tech and AI, point solutions are going to be easy. It's making a cohesive experience for your business that's really hard. And it's something
Mm.
getting easier because you can code faster now and there's faster ways to connect the dots. But most of the new tech coming out is usually just point solutions or 2 to 3. It's not the full business experience.
Yeah, and that's what I've noticed a lot of in the marketplace. It's a lot of new singularly focused things. I saw a lot of those at the IRE, whether it was around AI voice or around estimating or around anything, right? There were so many different things that were AI driven, but it was one very specific thing. And through my journey in working with AI, I learned that it's really easy to get 80% of the way there. Like, it's so easy to get 80% of the way there that it gets you so excited. But then you have to get that other 20%. And that other 20% is the 80% of the effort. And it's like, my goodness. And that's that cohesiveness. It's like, well, how cool. I have this tool that I spun up that does this. Oh, but it doesn't talk to that. It doesn't, oh man, it doesn't actually give a good, a, give me good feedback because it doesn't have context of my other data that's over here or over there. And so yeah, we're in a fascinating time. It'll be,
Wild.
it's fun. Um, let's go back to the peak performance report and, our shared love, which is marketing, right? Like, the marketing segment of the peak performance report, like to me, it's like duh in so many ways. But then it's again like I can't believe that people aren't doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. So some of the things, um, speed to lead is a huge differentiator. Companies that respond in under 30 minutes dramatically outperform those that take an hour or more. And I think in the report, what was it? 12 hours was average or something like that. Like it was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
so the statistic is, and the one that I have been teaching on for years is under 5 minutes. Like we have to get that under 5 minutes. And there is an enormous percentage, like a 300x percentage in lead conversion if you're under like 60 seconds. It's outrageous.
Not even close.
That was a big thing to me in the report. And I hope that contractors see this. So we'll put a link to go download the peak performance report. If you don't have it in your hands already, we'll put that in the show notes here so you guys get to see this. But my goodness. And I know there's some solutions at Job Nimbus with the voice AI and chat AI now from the marketing perspective in helping to close that gap. What was the reaction to that you've seen, like when you had conversations with people?
Honestly, it's kind of the similar thing. Like, I don't think anyone goes, no, because the longer you take to respond to leads, the better you close. No one's arguing that. It's way more of a,
Yeah.
okay, how do I do that? And the thing that surprised me when having conversations is that the people that don't struggle with speed to lead have a very clear marketing to sales handoff, whether it's to automation or
Yes.
individual. They have a very clear handoff process. The ones that struggle with speed to lead don't have a marketing to sales handoff process, or it's very like manual or reactive. And that's been the thing that surprised me the most because in my mind, it's a no-brainer. You got your lead, call them or whatever format that's in. But when you don't actually have a documented process they stick to every sales rep of these are
Mm.
the leads that come in, this is who it goes to. It's overwhelming to get your speed to lead down because even the tools with like voice AI, the chat AI, how we're doing we're like working on the round robining to your sales reps in our beta right now and it's working. But if you don't know that's what you need to do, of course, you're not gonna have good speed to lead because you might nail it on one of your sales reps and completely botch it because someone wasn't assigned the right way. So you have to
Yeah.
know that handoff is so critical. Like, know exactly what you want to have happen with the leads that come in. Usually, your speed to lead will decrease, your speed to lead will decrease dramatically just by
Yeah.
having the process. And this is the process to hand off your leads.
It's that it's that what you focus on expands analogy, right? Like if you focus on this and say this is the most important thing I can do for my business in 2026, and I promise you that might be the most important thing if you do not have a process for your intake, appointment setting. Like if that is not coming through properly, you're wasting money on your marketing if you're doing marketing. If you're not doing marketing, you're not ready to do marketing. Like there's so many gaps there. I was talking with Ben, I think it was last spring, and he said to me, "Jim, do you know that 40% of JobNimbus marketing leads go unanswered, like and unresponded to?" Like he was like, "This is crazy," and I was like, "Yeah, it's not crazy to me, Ben. Like this is what we've been in this for years." Like, but like it's amazing to me how many people focus on, "Well, man, I just got to get better at closing," or "I have to get better at production. I got to get a job site supervisor. I got to get these things in place," but the phone isn't being answered. Customers are sitting there waiting and they don't know when, like even past the point of the lead. Like if a customer reaches out to know when you're going to be at their house, like that needs to be responded to in a very short amount of time also. So I think it expands beyond that. Um, Reviews. We've been preaching this for years too,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like the impact of reviews is insane. Um,
They're just being amplified
like
more. 'Cause now, like, Google's scraping that for all their AI search results, and so are all the other AI tools. Like, honestly,
uh-huh.
if someone were to come to me and be like, "What's the one thing I need to do for my business?" Like, "Get your freaking reviews up." Like, that's like get
Yeah,
it, incentivize it, get a review program, do whatever it is, because that is gonna feed literally everything else, SEO-wise, content-wise, whatever, you name it. That's gold, and you see in the report, and this was true the last 2 years, once you hit that 200 mark, it's a game changer. It's a game changer on your
it's a
marketing,
game changer.
but also, like, what it took for you to have that many, like, that volume is a game changer. Now, doing that many roofs is that game changer, but your marketing, it's a huge game changer for you just in terms of being seen.
I was just reading I'm on there's the marketing, digital marketing kind of guru guy, Neil Patel. I think he might have an office out there in the Salt
Yeah.
Lake Lehigh area. Um, he he had an email or a stats on it that it was like 90% of people have made a buying decision before they got to your website.
Yep.
And the main impact of that was reviews. It was 24% of decisions, the decision influence happened in the maps in the reviews. Like, and then 16% of the decision is from review sites. So maybe they're not even just, they're seeing your Google reviews, and then maybe they're seeing you on Yelp or BBB or one of these other places too, or they're going out and looking for your company in these other places to see if they've made a good decision. But why do you think contractors don't focus on reviews as much? Or what's the mountain that they're climbing that they just can't get this to work. They can't get the reviews that they're trying to get for their business.
I think it's kind of interesting, and it's almost kind of the chicken egg approach. I think if you asked a roofer what's more important, referrals or reviews, they'd all pick referrals. Um, which makes sense, right? And you can see that in the homeowner report and
Yep.
on the report for lead source, your word of mouth, your referrals is gold. And I don't think we've done it. I don't think even mentally, even for me, the things you would do to improve your referrals are things you would do to improve your reviews. And that is to do automations. That is to like follow up with the homeowner. That's to make sure they had a good experience. And I think if we I think part of it's like the mental hurdle because if I'm a roofer and I'm looking for leads, I'm not going to think about my reviews. I'm going to think, well, how can I get more
Yeah.
referrals? But your reviews are actually your referral pipeline in many ways. But even the homeowner, kind of you talked about what Neil Patel said, but even like on the homeowner perspective, 90 to 95% of homeowners pick the roofer because of word of mouth and they go validate it with your website and reviews. Like they just do the
Yes.
gut check. So it makes sense that it would make sense to me that if I'm in roofing and I'm needing leads and I'm struggling, I'm not going to focus on reviews. I'm going to focus on referrals. I'm going to see if I can like buy a list. Reviews doesn't feel like it's connected, but it actually is. Like if you view your reviews
Yeah.
as feeding your referrals, I don't think it would be as hard of a leap, to be honest. I think that's a huge part of it. But then, because what do you do to get more referrals? You have a referral program, you have follow up with your homeowner. Same thing with reviews. It's building that automation, building that template, creating the program. I just think it's if I have to, with my limited free time, what's actually going to make an impact? Reviews isn't the first thing. Referrals usually is, but reviews feed referrals. So as long as they can like understand that, it seems like a no brainer. And that's
Yeah.
obviously like some of our bigger clients in our beta, they've connected that dot. They know more reviews for a location, the more referrals they tend to get. So they're like, hey, reputation management is like priority number one for me now, when it wasn't 2 to 3 years ago, because that just wasn't where they're at in their business.
Yeah. I I've had I've had conversations with contractors, one of them that have done really unique things. And so to me, for people listening, like what I would do is the first thing I would do is sit in your office and Google roofing companies near me. And I would look at who you're competing against in the maps, right? Whoever shows up in the maps right next to you, that's who you're competing against. And the lower of those three is your first review goal. So, like, no matter what,
Yep.
in some markets, that might be 500 reviews,
Yeah.
right?
Especially farmers.
If you're right, and if you are located near some of the bigger companies in your market, you may have a bigger hurdle, right? Like in front of you, you may have a bigger hill to climb, but that's your first goal, and do anything and everything to get to those reviews. So some of the things that I've heard, Kaylee, is like I had one contractor that I spoke to who would do essentially, he almost had a repair for referral program.
Oh.
Like he would do small repair jobs and say, "Hey, look, it's just a small repair job. I just have to, caulk this and do this, and like just some very small things, and you should be taken care of." And for that, he would say, instead of paying me, here's the link, leave me a Google review, right? And like those small, it could be a small thing. I've heard other contractors who ask for reviews even if they don't do the job,
And it works? Did I get it?
but it was the experience, right? Like, I told you you don't need a new roof.
Oh,
Please
okay.
leave us a review on Google, right? Like,
I actually love that. That makes sense. Like, I save the money.
right? And
Yeah.
you're it's not that, and you definitely want to get the ones that you do work for, but at the same time, like, you can be reviewed about multiple parts of your process.
I like that. I like
You
that
don't
a lot.
you don't have to just be you don't just have to get a review on the total project, right? From your marketing efforts to the way that your phone was answered, to the inspection, to the way the sales rep dealt with the homeowner, to the job site supervisor, and how well the crews did, and how they showed up, and if they showed up professionally or not professionally, and if the job site got cleaned up. It's a lot of things, and to That's a lot of things. But there are other ways you can make them small things.
No, I like that.
Then I had another contractor who understood the severity of the situation and knew that, man, if we had double the reviews of anyone in our market, he had faith that would lead to a lot more business. And so he made a goal for the year, and the goal was to be double what any other company in the market was. And he took his whole team on a cruise, just like a 3-day cruise, like the whole company plus spouses, and invested a lot of money, like a lot of money. They hit the goal. Everyone went on the cruise. I don't know what kind of investment. Maybe it was a $20,000, $30,000 investment to take the team on a cruise. But my goodness, the amount of jobs that they got because of that down the road was outrageous. Like, and it's hard to track, but they could feel it, right? They could feel that, a good thing to ask on an intake call was, especially if you have good reviews, is, well, did you call us because of our great financing options or of our great reviews? Oh, that's how that most people call us because of one of those two things. Which one was it for you? Right. And like, if you can then use that through the process to help build trust. So, and then that leads to more referrals, which dominate the way that roofing contractors generate business, right?
Wow.
They dominate this. So in the report, what was it? 95%? It was like 95% listed referrals as their number one lead source.
Yep. It makes sense, right? Especially if you're in retail, that makes tons of sense.
Yes.
If someone's dropping that much money on you, they're gonna tell all their neighbors about it. If they have a good experience, when someone asks, they'll refer
That's
you.
right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's wild. I think my favorite one I've seen so far was a contractor who they went through like the charity aspect of it. Like, hey, if you leave us a review, we're gonna
Yep.
donate $50 to this local charity. It was something they all knew about in the area. I'm like, oh, that's smart. Like, and they have
So fantastic.
blows everyone else out of the water in their area.
Yeah.
And their engagement on their follow-up to ask for reviews is amazing. I was like, why is this one so much better?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. You're donating charity. That makes sense. So there's lots of ways you get creative about it.
That is creative. I love that. And then you're saying, hey, leave us a review. And this is what happens. It's not just for the benefit of of us, right? Like, that's a really good one. AI adoption is up. Huh. Right? Like, from 13 to 30% in 1 year. And we're probably through Q1 of 2026 now. It's probably up to 40%, right? Like, we have contractors in the RSRA who are building tools to analyze insurance paperwork or like bids and like it's crazy the things that are happening. It's crazy the things that you can do. But again, you're going to get 80% of the way there quick. It's going to be hard on the other end. What are you guys seeing from an AI adoption standpoint? There is now is it chief AI officer at JobNimbus?
Yep.
Like, this is serious, right? Like, we know this is serious. Like, we're taking this serious. We're going down the right path. What are some of the conversations around AI at the JobNimbus offices? Before we carry on with the episode, let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors. Roofers, let's get real. You're great at building roofs, but are you great at building a steady stream of leads? That's where JobNimbus Marketing comes in. They know the roofing industry inside and out, and they'll help you dominate Google, Facebook, reputation management, and everything in between. If you want more quality leads, more booked jobs, and more growth, visit the link in the description or the sponsors page on the Roofing Success Podcast website. I talk to contractors every day that feel stuck. Not because they're not working hard, but because they're missing the structure to growth without chaos. or their culture's falling apart because their team's unclear, unaligned, or just burned out. And when change hits, they're reacting instead of leading because time and priorities aren't under their control. Day 41 Thrive helps to fix that with proven strategies for growth, culture, and leadership that actually work. Ready to thrive beyond the storm? Visit the link in the description or visit the Roofing Success Podcast website on the sponsors page to start your journey today. If you and your team aren't trained on AI yet, you're already falling behind. Competitors using AI are generating more leads, closing jobs faster, and running leaner. The AI roofing revolution gives your team the training to implement AI so you stay ahead, not scramble to catch up. Don't wait until you're losing. Get trained now at the link in the description or the sponsors page of the Roofing Success Podcast website. What are some of the conversations around AI at the Job Nimbus offices?
Yeah, so there's two big conversations happening. Is one, how do we apply AI? Like what can we like kind of take out of our process and automate and make it more efficient? Data analysis is a huge one. Coding's a huge one. Even on the marketing side, how do we scale output for like our sales reps, things like that? What tools can we make? So there's the internal aspect. Tyler's like main focus has been helping our product engineering like adopt AI, and it's been wild. Like they've like increased their output by like 128%. It's insane and it's really cool. And that's just one part of the business. So there's the internal
Mhm.
conversations on how we personally use it. Then there's okay, now how do we make it usable for the customer in a way that makes it they can do their business a lot easier? And like I don't know if you looked at Scout at all, but Scout's a part of it where you can kind of search and update your contacts and jobs and things like that with the AI, like through voice and just through chat and like search improve the search functionality dramatically where you are can find the data that you need for the problem you're trying to solve. But that's just like the beginning where we're looking at it on the marketing side in particular. This is the one I'm closest to. So like in my mind and what we're trying to build for is okay, what can I do to make you not have to worry about marketing ever again? What tools can I build? What can I do to automate and speed things up? Then one of the main use cases that everyone's using is content generation, right? Okay, well there's a
Yeah.
varying degree of quality and you can have these cool tools that generate content, but if it's just sitting in your folder or your AI tool and you actually don't know where or how to apply it, it doesn't make sense. So it's okay, how do I use AI agents to optimize the actual channels and marketing processes and that handoff? So we're trying to basically figure out how do we apply best practices for you, let you customize and tweak
Mm.
and see. Like in a dream world for me and like even for Job Nimbus, I would love like, hey, here's your best practice playbook for your marketing, sales, production experience. Here's where you can access the data. Here's where you get like your red flag alerts, and the AI can take all of the data from all of the amazing customers that we have all over the place doing insurance, doing retail, and we can tell you what best practices are. We can actually suggest, hey, for someone in your group, this is the kind of margin you should be looking at. For someone in your area with this search volume, this is actually the kind of campaign you should run. We really want to make it smarter for you. So the things that you're an expert in, you can just own and nail it. But then you have like the benefit of all these other people that have been there, done that, and are doing that and amplify what's working. So very lofty
Yeah.
goals, very lofty vision. It's cool to see us start doing that with some of the AI tools coming out, but even just what we're talking about on the product pipeline is, okay, what can we do to make their life easier? What can we do to like
Yeah.
give them what could work and then make it easy for them to amplify it and optimize it for their specific business?
Yeah. It's AI it's like I like to say, like I used to say, Google only knows how to read, right? When we're talking about SEO and things like that. AI only knows how to write. Right.
Yeah.
And it will just write. It'll write all kinds of stuff. So it's going to write and write and write all of the things that it wants to write. But my goodness, there could be a variance there. So that's really cool. The things that you're working on to tighten that up and make sure that it fits the specific business use case and specific to that customer too. Um,
Well, that's the funny thing,
move it.
especially with marketing. I've seen so many like college students making these like AI tools and AI bots that are marketing experts. And it cracks me up because I get the logic. They were like, okay, I'm going to train you to be a marketing
Yes.
expert, but you have absolutely no experience with a niche or with like if you wrote one for marketing, it'd probably be way more effective. But you see all these like, oh, we can do that. We're this expert. Like you have not fed it with
Yeah.
the right data. You don't have context for real life application. And we're like, oh yeah, I could do that with AI. Okay, I want you to look at the data they used to feed that AI. If you could ask that as a follow-up, that'd be great.
That's right. If your AI is getting data from AI, then you're having problems. Like you're gonna run into some issues. So because there's a fair, I don't know if you've been on the internet, but there's a fair amount of misinformation. So, and that's what it read. So it read the internet. So so understand where its context is coming from, right?
Every time I use AI for research, which is amazing at it, I have to be very specific and hey, I need this research. Do not pull in any vendor. I don't want to see any vendor blog posts or websites. Just look at like social media and forums. Don't pull any of this stuff because it's wild.
Yeah.
It's just wild stuff.
It's wild stuff. And if maybe it might be getting fed YouTube comments, which are, that's like the worst of humanity being fed into it. Like there's, you got to be careful. We don't know where this is coming from. So back to the good data in the peak performance report, some of the things that stood out to me in the sales and cash flow section, it was, one of the things that's, again, it's one of those things that's like, oh yeah, of course. Like you had mentioned, it's like that companies with higher financing adoption have significantly fewer past due invoices.
Mm-hmm.
But most contractors treat financing like a last resort. Like it's the craziest thing. How have you seen that shift in the marketplace or why aren't they just collecting money? Like as easy, reducing the friction in collections, I think would be an easy way to say that.
Yeah, and again, I think part of it's homeowner expectation because if 2 years ago it was like I had to convince someone to do financing or at least look at it. Now even smaller businesses that are just getting started going, "Oh, I need to put financing on my website."
Yeah.
So I think more people are seeing that they need to do it, but again, it's how do you apply it? And that's like we're working on our Wise Tech integration right now. We have Sunlight. We know financing is going to be critical. And another part of the reason I think it's changing is insurance is getting way harder to pay out
Yeah.
on jobs. They just are, but you have to fix your roof. And so
Yes.
you're dealing with these situations where it's getting harder to get approval by insurance in a lot of different areas for lots of reasons. So now the homeowner's like, well, I got to fix my roof. I don't have that much cash on hand. So their only option is financing. So if you can provide it and you can create the option, the whole point is, especially in those scenarios where you're dealing with, I have to do a full replacement. I think repairs are a little easier. But when you're having the scenario of having to do a full replacement, if you can go in and be competent and communicate well, and you're like, hey, I know that this is like a financial thing, this is a lot at once. I'm going to provide you 2 options for financing right here, right now.
Yeah.
You're going to be told yes, just because you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, done. Like you came and referred. Like if everything maps out for you, okay, you came and referred, you communicated well with me, you provided an estimate with a financing option, you explained it to me well. Let's go. Like, and all your reviews matched it, all your referrals matched it. Like make it as easy for them to say yes as possible. And financing is a huge part of that. It's a huge part of that. Make it so stupid easy to say yes. They'd be dumb to not give you a yes in that meeting, like, or even that call or that email. Just make it so easy to say yes. It'd be dumb for
So easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I think that's the thing, right? It's what Amazon was built on.
100%.
Make it easy for us to say yes. We just click a button and it shows up, right? It's so easy. It's too easy. The reviews are right there. Pick your colors and sizes and just go. And now it's at your doorstep, right? That's the frictionless in sales environment. One thing that was fascinating was the spiff data. Like roofers who reward specific behaviors like follow-up and same-day proposal they close up to 22% more jobs than those on straight commission.
Yeah.
And, have you, what do you think about that? Do you see a shift in the environment? I've had I've had Tommy Mello who from A1 Garage on the podcast a couple of times. His entire team in his $500 million a year garage door company is all paid on performance-based pay. Like it's so, but it's amazing that people don't do that. What have you seen in that? Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, whether you're doing sales and roofing or anywhere else, we do stuff here on our internal sales team. The expectations for the sales rep are going up. Like now it's not just, I gotta convince you, shake my hand and say, yes, I'll do this roof. Is I now have to like put everything in my CRM. I now have to do all this different stuff. I now have this process I need to follow to get good data or to get follow up. Like it's more traceable if you're doing well or not. It's a lot easier to do performance based. But part of it
Mm,
is, and so you're asking them to do more, and there's some like your basic structure. But also think of the personality of sales reps. Like Ben says all the time, there's certain roles and certain personalities that are very coin operated. You put $1 in, you're going to get
yep.
$3 out, and that's just how it works. And it's like just talk about psychology and personalities. I can't think of a single sales rep that I've met has ever not been someone motivated by adrenaline or dopamine. And you are going to absolutely get a dopamine hit when you hit a performance metric way more than your regular paycheck. So it honestly is straight up human psychology where
Seriously.
dopamine hit for your sales rep. And maybe the spiff has nothing to do with money for one of them. Maybe, like we have a rep. I hope he watches this. Will be fun. We have a rep who's already really good, right? He hits all his numbers consistently, but we wanted him to like double his output, and we found out and then he was like, "Oh, hey, my girlfriend's coming to town. If I hit all my metrics by this date or double it or whatever by this day, can I take the rest of the week off?" He hit it within like 2 days, and we joked, but I think we're like, okay, what does he have to hit for us to fly out his girlfriend? Like,
That's right. Yeah.
be creative. Where are the dopamine hits you have for your sales reps? Every role needs it to a degree, but like your office manager is most likely going to be more motivated by security. So that paycheck, that
Yes.
consistency is going to be super motivating for your office manager. If you want your office manager to do some more stuff, like look at what's going to give them more security and asking them for do that. Sales rep, where's the dopamine hit in the thing that you're asking them to do? Is it a reward?
Yeah.
Is it a spiff of any kind? Is it like a praise? We have President's Club, is it an incentive trip? They're very motivated. That personality type is just very motivated by dopamine, to be honest, more so than
Yeah.
most personalities in business.
But now that I think about the amount of time people spend on social media, everyone is like, I bet your office managers it needs a dopamine hit too. They just need a different dopamine hit, right? Like we
You want more,
find the thing that motivates people.
yes.
Yeah,
Where's the dopamine hit for everyone in your business? You can make it as personal
that's right.
as you want.
I'm going to ask Claude right after this. I'm going to. Do you think we could put like all of the Myers-Briggs profiles of everyone into Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or something, and just say, okay, this is my person, and here's their LinkedIn profile.
Oh,
Tell
probably.
me what dopamine hit I can give
Oh,
them.
yeah, I actually love that. I might do that too. We have this archetype assessment we've done internally. Like because we're big on make
Yeah.
contractors heroes. You've been in our office. There's the hero's journey. That's one. The hero's journey is based off like 12 personality archetypes. There's actually 12 of them. The hero's one. And so I'm like, okay, how do we find out what the top 3 is for everyone? The patterns are insane by role, like all of
Yeah.
their top one's caregiver. Shock. Like these are the people that want to make
Huh.
sure to take good care. So that's part of our interview process. You have to take the archetype test if you make it past your first interview to make sure you're in the right role. And
Yeah,
it's
that
so
would be
beautiful.
interesting. Taking the archetypes and seeing what motivates that archetype
Oh, I have one for business
and
owners.
then yeah, yeah, and then business, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Business growth. Salespeople are easy. Like sales is like biz dev sales easily motivated, but how do you motivate a developer, right? Like that's a different
We can do a whole conversation about that. How to do it now on that.
Yeah.
Wild.
I think so. Another thing that stood out to me there is in the sales and cash flow section was it was scary to me that most roofers are landing at a 21 to 30% gross profit. That's crazy. That says a lot. Says a lot in the conversations that I've heard year over year after year about, but my competitor is selling at X per square. I have to be at that. And it's this race to the bottom. And then coming from the marketing side and saying, no, you need to invest Y amount in your marketing every year to grow. And they're like, well, I can't do that. There's no way. And there's no way to invest in your business. There's no way to invest in your team to hire the best people. There's no way to give them, to build a culture and, give them 401ks and health insurance and all the fun stuff that you could get. Like, how can that was staggering to me. Like, that's a scary thing that at 21% is out of business unless you're almost doing the work yourself. Like, that's crazy.
Well, that's usually how it works. The people that are at that margin are having a really hard time scaling you can get up to like probably 5 million, that like closer to 6 million, up to 10 million. Your margin has to be totally different, or you can't even get past that point because you can't make the investments that you need to get past that point. Because exactly what you're talking about, you're basically doing it all yourself, and you can go pretty far by yourself. I met some brilliantly talented people
for sure
scale to that part, but they can't move on because they can't invest in the right way. And we were even talking about this morning where I'm like, okay, marketing is a huge pain point in roofing. And part of it is if your margin looks like that, and I'm telling you like, oh yeah, you need a 3-to-1 return for your marketing for it to be industry standard. No, if that's your margin, you need 10-to-1. Of course, marketing is a waste of money. You just blew your
That's
profit.
right.
You just blew your margin because you spent money on a lead. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And you can't hire someone to make sure that lead is followed up with. And you can't, there's so many can'ts there if your margins are that low, and that's gross margins, right? So, we're net profit is, non-existent at that level. At 30%, you're stuck. Like there's no way you don't have the ability to grow. Getting into that 35 to 45% is where, and here's the challenge that I see. It's that contractors, the most successful contractors I've had on this show, Kaylee, for 300 episodes now, have been ones that care so much about their customers. That's the core reason for their success. And it shows through everything that they do. Like the quality of work, the fixing mistakes that weren't even theirs, everything that they do is taking care of their team and their homeowners. And you can't do that. Like you just can't do it without without pricing your jobs properly and pricing your having correct margins.
Yeah, like supplies and everything. Because I totally agree. I really genuinely believe that if you are doing what's right for the customer, the money follows by default.
Yeah.
And whatever scale you're at, and you might need different skills to get to different places. But if you're genuinely trying to do what's best for the person, the money's going to come.
And if you want to be in business, you have to price it properly, right? Like if you truly want to take care of that homeowner, you have to be in business in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years when they need you again,
But that's the thing I think is hard is people undersell themselves. Sure, I think that's part of the problem. But
yes,
you also haven't given yourself enough space and time to actually make more strategic decisions. Like, are you reacting to the email from every supplier every freaking year the prices are going up with shock? Like, you should know that that's coming. And we know, but it's like, okay, we got to know what's coming and we got to be proactive and plan on it. And that's part of just learning how to do that, is shifting from this reactive to this proactive. But like I know I saw in the Facebook group just this morning was the ABC email that they're raising their prices again, and it was cracking me up. See, the
Yeah.
people were upset, but most of the comments were like, they do this every year. Like,
Yeah.
this shouldn't even be
This isn't new.
this isn't new. This is
Just
an increase.
just so everyone listening knows, it's not just ABC.
No. Yeah.
The Federal Reserve's goal is to inflate prices by 2% per year. So that's the goal. Like, there's a goal to inflate prices by 2% a year by the Federal Reserve. So that just trickles down all into the economy. So
I freaking love ABC. They're a great supplier
for sure.
So, but everyone has to do it.
Everyone.
Why isn't your price increase already planned? And I honestly think the big problem is, I just do it like this. You can't afford to keep doing it the way you're doing it every year. Unless you found a really cool way to like get super efficient somewhere else and price things like something like, no, I'm going to live and die on this hill. This is my pricing no matter what. Like Costco with their hot dogs. Kudos to them. If that's your strategy, that's great. So you got to be very, very intentional about literally everything else you do to make up that gap. Like you have to have some other thing to justify that. So be very intentional about your strategy and understand that, I do it like this. Cool. Pick your North Star, the hill you're going to die on, and build around that. If your North Star hill you're going to die on is your pricing, cool. What else is happening to support that? Because you can't just do it like everyone else if that's your North Star. And that's not good or bad. It's just I think we think it's simpler in our head than when we actually take a minute to look at what we actually want to accomplish and build everything around that versus I just do this.
Yeah. I've had this conversation a lot of times that we build our pricing arbitrarily. So what we do is we go, Joe down the street's at $450 a square, so I'm going to be at $450 a square. Or, Paul's over at, he's at $650 a square and Joe's at $450 a square. And so I'm going to come in between. I'll be at $500 a square. But you didn't take your specific labor costs, your specific material costs, your specific overhead, your specific, marketing budget, your specific, all of those things. You didn't create your pricing from the bottom up. We just said, throw a dart. That's what we're at. And I'm old enough now, unfortunately. Kaylee, I'm getting old. I get to say, I remember when this was that much. And it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. Let's move on from that because that's a little trauma. It's a traumatic year for me.
Oh man.
So,
I don't think, but that's the thing is like, it's okay that your competitor's pricing is playing a role, but should not be the deciding factor or even the main factor. It should play a role in it. Like if you're wildly way above your competition, okay, you might need to look at some other stuff, but like use it as a data point. Don't use it as your decision point.
Yeah. But I think that there's also, I think that sometimes we make decisions in the data points that aren't true. So, for example, there was a company that an owner that I talked to in Washington State, Central Washington. This was years back, and there was like 3 contractors in the area that were pretty much they did most of the roofing in the area, and they had like unofficially agreed that pricing is about here, right? They kind of, we're all about the same. And then a national brand came in, out of nowhere, opened an office in their area and was kicking their butt selling at twice the amount per square, double the amount per square. And so I think that sometimes we have limited beliefs that we can't charge this to someone, right? Because like me being old, a candy bar was a lot less. And you know what I mean? And so we have this thing in us. It's a mindset thing a lot of times that and not that you're going to be able to just go out and charge $10,000 a square or something stupid, but there are companies out there selling at $900 to $1,200 a square all day long, every day, without, and they're much bigger companies than you are. Why? You know what I mean? But they're also building in, they're not making the difference in net profit. Their net profit is still in that 10, 15% range, most likely. But they are investing in their team, they're investing in their marketing, they're investing in a lot of other things to secure their future.
Yeah.
Moving on to communication and production, poor communication is what really contributes to the most negative reviews on Google, going back to our reviews conversation. And only 4% of roofers have fully automated customer communication.
Yep. Yeah.
This is a problem. The technology is there, right? The tech stack is there to automate communication. I like to say, if your customer is wondering, you are losing. And so if you're not communicating with them, I think there was another stat in there, 66% of homeowners say poor communication during an insurance claim process frustrates them more than delays or unexpected costs. It's if they're wondering, you are losing.
Yeah.
How can a contractor automate their communication better?
So the conversations I've been having with a lot of people, because we have our AI voice, we're in beta with our
Yep.
AI chatbot, our AI texting, all of that. And it's super cool and they love the concept, but the people that are hesitating to turn it on completely as like a full automation, like they'll do suggested replies, but they're having a hard time just turning on the automation and every single time when you boil down to it, they might have like, well, I'm worried about this and this, but boiled down to it, they're so worried about sounding like a robot and not being personal
Mm,
that it won't match.
yeah.
It can't. AI, automated communications, it's not gonna have it can replicate personality, but it's not gonna be as effective as if I got on the call with
Yep.
my customer or you get on the call with your customer. That's not the
Yep.
point. The point is to remove ambiguity for the homeowner. And so it's interesting, and I think people are starting to get past this hurdle. It's a lot easier, like, voice-wise, I get it. Like, you talk to something that's obviously
Yes.
AI, it's I get
Yeah.
it. I understand. It's getting better and better, and there's certain situations that make sense, but sure, I understand. But chatbot and your texting, people are getting past that a little better because they're like, okay, well, people are okay if it sounds more robotic. But also, it's just in putting your personality in there too, is like learning how either you figure out yourself or working with someone who's really good at taking what makes you you and be able to translate that into language. And that's a skill. Like, that's not easy to do. Like, you can go throw in stuff in
Yeah.
AI, and people like the concept of automating your communication, but they're worried it's going to just look like a copy paste, put in the wrong name, that kind of stuff. Or it won't sound like them. So
Yeah.
being very clear about how you want the homeowner to like feel talking to you will help make those easier. Because every time this has happened, if I write up like the text automation and I've taken the time to understand kind of who they are and their brand, that concern disappears every time because they're like,
Yeah.
okay, this text does sound like it came from my company. It doesn't sound like it came from a robot. Or the expectations were set the homeowner, hey, these are automated, but so you can be in the loop about every status of your project. The homeowners don't care. Like 99.9% of the time, you'll get some weirdos and that's fine. But 99.9% of the time, they just want to know what's going on. They don't care if it's a
Yeah.
robot. They just want to know what's going on. And also part of it is people aren't clear about their process for following up with the homeowner. There's one
Mm,
contractor that has one of my favorite automation setups I've ever seen, and only because I say only, it was a lot of work. But he had the homeowner choose when they signed if they wanted all the updates or just the major updates. And he had two automation workflows, but he was super intentional. He knew exactly what to text them at what
mhm.
stage. He knew what they needed on the high touch and what milestones met. And he had it marked in his CRM. So it was easy for him to make comms and automations because he knew what to do for the homeowner. So not everyone knows exactly when to communicate with the homeowner. Either they haven't decided or they just haven't had an like they just haven't decided. They haven't decided what it should look like. You could tell gut feel what they want. especially when you've done it so many times. But to actually sit down and map it out, once you do that, I
Yeah.
really think that would quadruple easily. If you would just even sat and do a voice recording of, this is when I want to talk to my customer. Oh, okay, I can automate that. It's just being intentional about it.
It's being intentional about it, but it kind of goes back. You mentioned it earlier. It's the SOPs, right? It's developing the process.
Yeah.
They don't, they, the reason that there's the challenge on the intake calls even is that there's no intake call process, right? There's no process for it. There's no intentionality in it. And the better you can get with that intentionality, the better your business is going to become. And it doesn't have to happen all at once.
Yeah.
You don't have to like build everything to be perfect, right? You just have to start, build little things, make small iterations, and pretty soon you'll be blown away by how far you've gotten and how much better your communication, your call answering, your all of these things become. So the 2026 opportunities: AI and automation, financing as a sales tool, stronger retail demand, digital workflows in the CRM, and then there was energy efficient, solar ready roofs. If a roofer's listening right now and only can choose one of these 5 opportunities in the next 12 months, how would you give them advice on what to decide to work on first? Like what should my main focus be?
Automation. I mean, honestly, automation. And if I'm going to pick what kind of automation, I would pick customer comm automation, to be completely honest.
Mm,
That's going to feed your reviews. That's going to feed your referrals. That's going to give them a good experience with your production crew, your sales reps. It's going to help every part of the business. And I would love to hear if you think it'd be a different one, but like seriously, if you had to pick one right now, I think every roofer would know, okay, the homeowner wants to know when I'm showing up. Okay, you
yeah.
automate that. Like, like whatever, when the day is put in, don't even do time yet. Whatever day is they're gonna show up, find out how to automate that to a customer. Start there. Start with just that one. I don't think any other I don't think you could argue, but everyone would like that.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all of it will help your business, but
Yes.
the customer communication will have the greatest impact. The speed to lead will have an outrageous impact on the front end. So that including that, I'll include that in that bucket, right? Of that customer communication. It's like that's that that's it. Like that's it. You're creating a good your goal should be creating the best customer experience.
100%.
And that's it. And if you do that, the referrals will come, the reviews will come, the you can charge a proper amount for your services. You can, right? All of the things are available when you do that. And it starts with that customer communication. Um,
And the automations, I think the automations are super critical because I've met a lot of really talented people, office managers, sales reps that
yeah,
communicate, or owners, that communicate crazy well. But the second that they're gone or on vacation or took
that's
a new
right.
job, it all falls apart. So that's where I'm big on the comms part specifically with automations because one, you want to be able to take a vacation. And then
Yes.
2, that's 1. But 2, you don't want your whole process to fall apart when someone's unavailable because things happen, whether they get a new job or something good or bad happens. You don't want the
Yeah.
homeowner experience to become less because of one person. You wanna
Yeah.
be able to, like, make it where it's a consistent part of who you are as a business, so whoever comes in, that's the focus, and the system is built to support that. And that's why that was, like, the instant thing out of my mouth is, like, automations and customer comms because
Yeah.
it's so critical. You don't want that dependent on an individual. An individual can amplify it, an individual can be a huge part of it, but you don't wanna make it where the soul of your business dies because your super responsive office manager got married and moved. Because I've seen that
Yeah.
happen at, like, 40 companies. Like, you gotta build it where the most important part is the structure, and everything's structured around it.
Yeah. I just saw it happen at a company recently where their office manager was like, "Yeah, I'm moving back to where I grew up. 2 weeks. We'll see you later," you know? Well, for everyone who hasn't checked out the Peak Performance Report, go to the link, check it out, download it. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast.
Thank you for tuning into the Roofing Success Podcast. For more valuable content, visit roofingsuccesspodcast.com. While there, check out our sponsors for exclusive offers, shop for merchandise, and sign up for our newsletter for industry updates and tips. Also, join the Roofing Success Facebook group to connect with other professionals and stay updated on the latest trends. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. Your support helps us continue to bring you top industry insights. The website link is in the description. Thanks for listening.